Okay, Alexander, so you've written us a set of essays. Let's see what you had to say. Okay, the first one is movie preferences. Here we go. This line, it's not a line chart, it's a line graph. We say bar chart, pie chart, and this is a line graph. Okay, this line graph represents young adults, this should have an apostrophe at the end, movie preferences by genre and by gender, okay? The following categories of movies were presented to youngsters: action, animation, comedy, drama, horror, and romantic. The chart compares preferences of certain types of movie genres between young male and female population. Okay, there it is. Fine. You could have just saved yourself this extra sentence and set it here. So this line graph represents young adult, and you could have taken off the S actually, young adult movie preferences by gender and by genre. And then you didn't have to waste time with the sentence, okay? So try to economize because you don't really have a lot of time for this task. So try to make sentences that serve multiple purposes. All right, let's move on. Comedy movies are found to be almost are found to be almost equally liked by both sexes, where 137 girls and 145 boys showed their preference. A similar situation was seen with animation and horror movies with which share a difference of 9 answers. All right, it's a little awkward. And it's a little awkward because I don't know where these numbers are. I mean, is it like 18 and 27 people like these movies, or is it like 110 and 119? So it's not clear when you explain it like this. So a similar situation was seen with animation and horror movies, which share a difference of 9 answers. Fine. So drama movies were mostly preferred by 86 females and only 63 males. Now check out what's happening here. You keep flip-flopping with your tenses. So here you have present tense, here you have past tense, here you have past tense, here you have past, and then excuse me. It's kind of strange. I mean, you could assume that this is present. You don't have, but just either way, whether you decide to go past tense or you decide to go present tense, either one is acceptable because we don't really have a time frame here. Just be consistent, okay? All right. The most preferred type of movies between males was action, with 137 positive answers and only 82 females. Romantic genre was more appealing to females, with 116 votes and 31 males. All right, so there are a bunch of problems here. First of all, you need to have an overview. So what's your overview? It's the main trend that we can see in this graph, or in this chart, actually. Actually, did you call it a line chart? It's not a line. It's a bar chart. I just looked at it, sorry. It's a bar chart. So not a line graph. Okay, I just noticed that. I apologize. So, let's see. The first thing you need that you didn't have here was an overview. So this part was okay. Like I said, I would have gotten rid of this sentence, and then the next sentence should have been your overview. Now, what does an overview look like? It's basically the main trend that is obvious in this diagram. So for me, that main trend would be that although preferences differed between the two genders, both sexes preferred comedy. Okay, that's an overview because it gives you a general understanding of what you're looking at without going into the detail of data. Okay, then you can go into all of this. And so that's what's missing. Without an overview, you're not going to get a 6 in task achievement. You need to know that, okay? And then this, I don't even understand why it was here. So why you decided to go, I mean, I don't know if you thought this was your overview. This should have been a detail section right here. So I'm not really even understanding the way you decided to divide this. You talked about comedy, which I understand. Then you talked about animation and drama. I'm not really sure why you did this. So about animation and horror, fine. So, you know what I would have done? I see what you're kind of doing here. I think you decided to say that, okay, where were their numbers similar? Their numbers were similar with comedy, animation, and horror. So I understand it if that was your logic. But drama for me, not so much. I would have put that separately. So what you could have said is that there were some similarities between the genders, comma movies, etc., and then animation horror movies were this and this. Or you could have said something like we're between 54 and 63 for both. We're between 60, we're this and this for horror. And then you could have then talked about the areas where the genders were different, which were, as you clearly stated here, action and romantic movies, and drama has a decent kind of difference that's worth mentioning. All right, but I don't really understand the way you divided your paragraphs, and even more important than that, like I said in the beginning, was the fact that you don't have an overview. That's going to really cost you on your task achievement. So let's go to this lovely international marketing essay. Nowadays, we don't say in nowadays, we just say nowadays. Nowadays, we don't say world people, we just say worldwide, okay? So nowadays, comma, worldwide, comma, people are constantly exposed to different types of promotions. Ultimately, each promotion is urging the targeted individuals to purchase a product or a service. Marketed goods quite often do not add any value to consumers' life, but in some rare cases, a consumer might find his new purchase as a useful addition to his lifestyle. In this essay, I would like to discuss both views and share my opinion on the topic. Okay, now I want you to be careful here. The question is not whether marketed goods add value to our life or not. That's not at all what the question has asked you to discuss, or whether it does in fact add value. The question is about international marketing, which is a very specific type of marketing, and if it's an intrusion and invasion into the foreign country, or if it helps us with education, if it spreads ideas and language and culture. Okay, so if I were an examiner, this introduction for me would be a huge red flag that maybe you're not going to develop the essay the way you're supposed to. Okay, so really be careful with the way you phrase your introduction. It is not a secret that countries may have many differences between each other, such as dominant religion, geographical position, climate, political structure, and many more. International corporations, in their place, I don't know what that means, try to maintain the exact same way their business is run and presented to customers in every country. Such presentation can usually be found misleading in an international context. For example, selling and marketing high sugar drinks in rural settlements in Australia has led to an increase in Aboriginal deaths from diabetes. It's spelled wrong. You really went into too much detail here without really saying anything that was relevant to the task. Like all of this about all this whole first sentence and even the second sentence felt really I was kind of like, okay, well, when are you going to get into the issue here that we're discussing? So you don't have that much time to develop this idea. So it really should be very clear from that first sentence what side of the essay you're going to discuss and what you have to say about it. So just something very similar, just something very straightforward, like there are many reasons why it is believed that international marketing is damaging to the host society. Okay, and then you can go into the details as to why. All right? And this part is okay, all right, but like I said, the rest of it, it wasn't developed enough. I mean, you got into too many details that really didn't help your argument. Okay, moving on. On the other hand, the promotion of certain products internationally can increase people's '(s) interest in a new hobby, or perhaps even lead to a career change. A relevant example will be a US-based electronics repairs tool manufacturer which, instead of only selling their products, started a global community of electronic repair enthusiasts who share their tutorials on the company public website. In this case, comma, the customers wish to fix their broken products. I don't understand. In this something, the customers wish to fix their product is found to be universal across countries and it brought people together. Yeah, but where is the marketing aspect of this? Okay, great. Globalization, technologies brought people together, but you're not really focusing again on the topic, on the issue, and the fact that this global marketing, this international marketing, um, spreads ideas, language, culture, and it's an economical way of doing so. So I didn't get any of that from this particular paragraph. In my opinion, most of the international marketing still remains invasive to the country in question. Companies make many bold assumptions about the habits of local residents instead of conducting thorough customer research. No A and no T. Analyzing results and then applying gained knowledge to their marketing campaign. Okay, that part is nice, but unfortunately, your body paragraphs didn't really develop any of those ideas. So if you had explored some of these themes in your body paragraphs, it would have been a much more relevant essay. So basically, the takeaway from this, Alexander, is that some of the writing I saw was interesting and it was nice, but it certainly was not on topic. And this is a really common thing, especially with this particular essay. It's one of the harder ones that we come across. But the good news is that you do have some nice elements to your writing, some nice cohesion I can see here, and some nice grammar. So I really would like to see more of your essays. I think that with further feedback and especially some guidance as to how to develop your topics appropriately, you'll be doing much better. Okay, let's see how we can continue to work together. Perhaps essay corrections are the right route for you, or maybe you'd like to look into the online course. So do see what fits you best, and I look forward to seeing more of your writing soon.